Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades and the weekly recap. Before I get into the recap, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, I did finish the week with 17 wins and 1 loss for a win rate of 94.44% for the week. Very pleased about that. I kind of jinxed myself on Friday because I didn't even realize I had a flawless week until Friday. And as soon as I said it in the room that I hadn't taken any losses for the week. Next trade, I took a loss. So, yeah, didn't work out. But anyways, I've had a handful of flawless weeks, but I think that I just like I said, just jinxed myself. But it is what it is. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. It was a great week, even with FOMC. Getting started Monday, which was the 30th. SPY calls over 414. This was Friday. We dumped right into this 410.50 area. 410 you could even say, but I have a line right here of 410. That is because there is a huge weekly support right here, pivot right here. You can see it's resistance, support, resistance, 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 and support. Came back up. Now it's support. So huge weekly resistance pivot right here. So when it came down to 410, I was taking it. So get back to the hourly. So I was looking at calls right off that. Obviously, I played some calls off this 410 level on that Friday, but gapped up. Thinking we're going to gap up some more. So had a nice little gap up on Monday morning. Now the first trade I took calls right at open, or not open, but over the first 10-minute candle. I don't take trades right at open. The first 10 minutes is very sketchy action, and it's all over the place, very bipolar. So I like to wait out the first 10 minutes, and then I take a trade right there. So first 10-minute candle was green. When it broke new high a day on the second 10-minute candle, I took calls. I took the 41.70 calls at $8, and then went from $8 to $10. And then I took puts at 10.16, which is right here, when it broke lower day, right there. Didn't really go too far. I made a nice little U pattern. I didn't want to grab puts right there, but when it came down the lower day really quickly, that's where I grabbed the puts. I grabbed the 41.35 puts at $7, and they went from 7 to 12. 80. They didn't move that much. This price did not go to 408. This was a glitch somehow. I remember when it happened, it messed up our charts and stuff because I remember talking about it. But yeah, I think the lowest it went was right around the 413 area, something like that. I didn't really, because if I bought puts at $7 and they went $5, they didn't go that much. They probably went from like 413.50 to 413, maybe 413, 412.50, maybe $1, but it did not go to 408. Because if it went to 408, those puts would have been like $30. So there's no way that happened. It was a glitch because I remember saying, like I said, in the room that it messed up the chart substantially. So, but I did take calls at 11:36. I didn't take calls right here. So a little bit of a U pattern right there. I didn't take it with the VWAP, rejected it. Didn't take that. I took calls right at 11:36. So it was right here. Rejected VWAP, came back down. Didn't break new lower day. Came back up to VWAP. So I grabbed it right here. I grabbed the 41.55 calls at 7:10. They went from 7:10 to 8:30. So I got a little bit of a play at that. I might have got a little early, or I ended up taking it over here. I'm not quite sure which one I did, but I did end up working out. Then I took puts again at 133, which is probably right here. No, 133. Right here. I took it at higher day. I grabbed the 41.60 puts at 750, and it went from 750 to 950. That little rejection off higher days. So that worked out pretty good. It's kind of gutsy to take that play though. I'm not sure why I took that play, considering I was expecting a huge squeeze this week, which we did get. Actually, I think I was expecting it the week before, and it didn't happen. It happened a week later. But, anyways, um, taking puts here at higher day, knowing those squeezes in play are happening, is very, very gutsy. So it did work out. So I'm not going to complain. Probably shouldn't have taken that trade, but it is what it is. On the 30th, 31st, I mean, traded his room. I said SPY calls over 417. 417 is right up here, the pre-market high. First 10-minute candle's deep red. Then you have another 10-minute candle right here is red, but it didn't break new lower day, but it broke new lower day on the third 10-minute candle. So I took puts. I took the 41.40 puts at $6, and then went from $6 to $6.50. It didn't really go much. I might have got it late. I think I actually got a bad fill on that. It didn't really go that well, but I got in and out. Then I took calls at 10.16, which is probably right here. Where I took it here, 10.16. Did I take it up here? Yeah, I probably took it right here. I think I took it right around this 4. I might have taken it over 416. I might have actually taken it over. Or if I didn't, I took it right here over the wick. But like, if you watch the video and you've been in the room for a while, you know that I like to buy like a few cents before it breaks in anticipation of a break. And that's just the way I do things. I didn't realize my mic was so far away. So hopefully that everybody could hear what I was saying. Even though my chair is squeaking like crazy. But yeah, I like to buy the breakout a few cents before it happens, because anticipation of a breakout, you could be chasing it $2 or $3 after it pops, and to me that's just no bueno for me. I'm not doing that. So I prefer to buy in anticipation, and sometimes it does bite me doing that, but to me it helps more than it hurts. So yeah, I got him at 680, went to 740, so that's probably what ended up happening. I probably got it either here or down here, and that's where I got the 50 cents plus move. Not getting very many moves right there. Another 60 cents move. Then I played puts at 12.15, which is right here. You can see we made new high day, came back down, went to VWAP, bounced off VWAP, failed to make new higher day, came back down. Once it broke below the 415.75 area, you can see the body is the wick. All this stuff's lining up pretty good right in here. So once it got below 415.75 or even 70, I'm not sure the exact number. I would say it's one of those two numbers. I grabbed puts. I grabbed this 41.65 puts at 740, and they went from 740 to 920. So that ended up being a good play on that. Then I took puts again at 331, which is right here. Not quite sure why I did that. Still in an upward channel. I probably was just thinking we're going to get an end of the day dump or something like that, because we've already had a $8 move, but that's really not that much for 2 days, because usually when SPYs are short squeeze, you'll see $10 to $12 in a day on a really nasty short squeeze. And when SPY has short squeezes, they're usually multi-day short squeezes. It's not like a low float where you get a massive short squeeze in one day and then that's it. When you have short squeezes on big blue chip stocks, or even market ETFs like SPY and QQQ, when they have short squeezes, they end up being big ranges, big green candles, and they're usually multi-day runners. It's not like just one day and one day and it's done. It's just usually multi-day. So some reason I grabbed puts up here. I would say I probably grabbed it right here underneath the 418.10, and you can see this candle is inside candle, the body and the wick. So it gets underneath there, and I'm looking at puts. That's probably where I got in. I got the 41.90 puts at 240, and they went from 240 to 480. They went 100%, just that little move right there. So that ended up being a good play. That worked out pretty good. Another kind of gutsy move I took that I probably shouldn't have, but at the time I probably thought it was probably a good play, and I just took it anyway. So FOMC day, I did not post anything in the trade ideas room. Usually when you have FOMC day, when Powell's speaking, it's not worth putting any trade ideas out. The SPX usually has massive implied volatility. The options are way too expensive, so I usually just sit it out and don't do anything until 2 o'clock. But, you know, I kind of like sat out the first half an hour. I didn't even look at anything. And I came to the computer and I looked and I was like, oh, it's really not that expensive, because usually at the money on Powell days are like $20. And they weren't that bad. I think they were like, if I had to guess, 14, 15 bucks. I mean, it's not that bad at the money. So I was like, okay, I'm in. If I see something that looks good, I'll take it. And I did take puts at 11.12, which is probably right here. Yeah, it is right here. Got these massive green candles right here. I was looking for an FU setup. It didn't work out. No FU. When you have, like, say if this was an FU setup, get strong green candles right here and a red candle. That's a perfect FU setup, but it did not break high a day. And I wouldn't have taken it off the body, because the body is only like, what, 20 cents? 41. Yeah, it's 20 cents. I'm not going off the body of that for an FU setup. I mean, it would have worked out, but me, no. Body is too small and the wick's not that big, so I would have gone over high a day. Now, if it was a strong strong red candle, now if the candle was like this, then I would have gone off the body, but it wasn't like that. So it was a tail candle. Usually, these inverted hammers, they're topping tail candles usually. So I did look for the FU setup and also kept in mind it could be going down. So using the body, the wick, and the wick right here, so it gets below 421.10. Taking puts, I took the 4,200 puts to 760, and they went from 760 to 980. So I got a good move out of that. They were a little further out of the money, so they didn't move nearly as much as if I got it at the money. Then I took FOMC strangle at 2 o'clock, which is right here. Yeah, 2 o'clock right here. I took the 42.25 calls at 6:10. It popped at open. I got out at, I don't remember what I got out at. I think I got out at 10, if I remember correctly. But yeah, they went from 650 to 1080. And then I had the 41.90 puts at 720, and they went from 720 to 760 down there. So they went green. So did end up having a nice FOMC play. Very, very dull. I mean, we haven't had a very strong FOMC move in a very long time. I mean, this is weak. If you didn't know this was an FOMC day, you wouldn't even know it was one, because you don't see, usually you see massive like $3 or $4 moves, and you don't. You see nothing. The bond auctions have been better than FOMC lately, which is weird because they never used to be. They were non-event things. They wouldn't happen or wouldn't move that much, and they've moved quite a bit now, the bond auction. But FOMC, it barely moves. It barely moved. And good thing the SPX was cheap, because if it wasn't cheap, it probably would have been very, very expensive. It probably wouldn't have barely moved at all. I mean, look at the calls. It went from 650 to 1080. Not much move. Not even 100% move. So, what, they moved from what, 420 to 421? Not even $1.50 range, both directions. It's pathetic. But anyways, good FOMC play. Then I took puts at 240, which is right here. Right when it broke below the body of this candle, underneath 420, you get the body and the body. You get this massive pop. Body came down. I mean, it dropped down to the body of these candles, and that's where I grabbed the puts. I grabbed the 4,200 puts at 720, and they went from 720 to 1040. So that ended up working out really well. Then I took calls over at 255, which is right here. Took calls right over the bodies of these candles. This was just a nice little play right here, because the market was whipping back and forth, and it had nice areas to go off from. You had the bodies of these candles for the downside, and it went right below to the downside perfectly. And then when it came back up, once it got over the body of this candle, and it took calls, and that was a good setup. I had the 42.25 calls at 540, and they went from 540 to 1560 plus if you held all the way through. So that was a really, really good play. I really liked this area, the way that it was setting up, because it was whiplashing back and forth. And other FOMC plays that sometimes when they do whip back and forth, you have massive, massive wick candles like this, and they're hard to play, and they have small bodies, but because they had bigger bodies right here, I had a lot better area to go off from, because I had these two candles right here to go off from on the downside. Then when we broke below the downside and we got that move, if you got to remember, take base hits, don't take home runs, or you're going to end up losing your shirt. Base hits, remember that. And it popped back up, and then because it dropped so much, came back up. That these two bodies of these candles right here were perfect, and that was a perfect play for the upside. So, you know, FOMC gave us some good plays before and after it with Powell. So can't complain about that. Now, Thursday, traded his room, SPY puts under 425, which was right down here at this low. I was expecting a drop. Thursday's right here. I mean, we already went up $17. So I was thinking, okay, we've gone too far, too fast. We're probably going to end up pulling back. First 10-minute candle was a strong green candle. I was not taking calls from that. I waited and waited, and it popped, and I could not see taking calls here. And I think that at the time, RSI was probably like 70 or something, because I remember it was 87 something on Friday, but it was in the 70s right here. To me, there was nothing really bullish happening whatsoever, even though this is just a short squeeze. And to me, this was too dangerous for me to grab calls. So I just didn't. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but me, I'm not doing it. If you want to do it, go for it. I'm not. I trade what I like. I don't trade what you want me to play, because I don't work like that. Because I'm here to make money. I'm not here to satisfy, you know, the people in the room that want me to play the way they want me to play. I mean, that's not the way I do things. I'm taking what I like and what I like only. And if you like it and I don't, then take it if you want. I mean, just one of the things I see a lot of people struggling with trading, I see it all the time in the room, is that I see people that are losing money in trading, and why they're losing money is they're chasing everything. They're trying to make $1 million a day. It's not going to happen. They're trying to get rich overnight. That's not going to happen. They're trying to catch every single move. That's not going to happen. They're playing everything. They're trying too much. They're taking too many trades. You're better off just to stick to SPY and play that, and just solely play that. Tune out everything else. I mean, you can look at and play other things if you want, but 90% of the people that fail in the room or fail trading period is they're trying to do too much. I mean, I know. I mean, I'm guilty of that too. I'm trading out of like 4 or 5 accounts, but I'm trading off from one ticker. I may take a lot of trades, and I know when to dial it back when I'm not doing good, but I'm not trading everything under the sun. I'm not chasing all these tickers. I focus only on SPY. And I know I used to trade other things in the past, but to me, I want to keep it simple. I don't want to trade everything else. I don't want to have to watch 50 different charts or 10 other charts. I'd rather just watch a couple charts and that's it. I mean, I don't want to hurt my brain or anything like that. I'd rather just focus on SPY. And if you want to do well, just focus on SPY. Stop trying to chase everything and play everything. So, because I see it all the time in a room. People will say they lost money, and they're like, hey, what did you play? Well, I played X, Y, and Z. Why? And, you know, they're doing their own thing. They're playing all these other tickers, and they're wondering why they're losing. And you don't need to take a bunch of trades. All you need is 1 or 2 solid trades per day. That's it. That's all you need to do. People just are trying too much, trying to do too much, trying to get rich overnight. The chances of that happening is very, very, very slim, unless you get lucky or you're doing something illegal. That's the only way you're actually going to get rich overnight, is if you're doing something very illegal, or you get lucky. But luck doesn't happen too often. So anyways, I know I'm ranting a little bit, But just focus on SPY. If you want to do good at trading, focus on SPY and just work on 1 or 2 solid trades per day, and that's it. I wasn't touching this. Too risky for me. I did take puts at 11.20, which is right here. I grabbed it right when it got below the 429 area, I think. Yeah, right in here. Because I was looking at, okay, it's going to reject the 430 because 430 is right here. Look at this area on the hourly right here. Right above 429 to 430, you got the support right here, which is going to be resistance. So I was thinking, okay, I'm going to jump ahead of that. And I did. I grabbed the 4,300 puts at 760, and they went from 760 to 1250, which was right here. Then when it popped back up, I reloaded. I reloaded the 4,300 puts again. I got a 740 this time, and it dropped down. And let's see. Wait. 1135. So I got the second one. Okay. That's what I did. I got it up here, right up here. I got the 4,300 puts right here, from 760 to 1250 right here, and you can see it closed up here. So when it came back up to here, to the 428.87 area, right up in here is where I reloaded. And then when it dropped right there, they went from what, 740 to 970 right here, from right there to here. So yeah, I played here, sold into the wick. Then when it bounced up, right back up here, that's where I reloaded, sold into this. Then when it bounced back up to this, I reloaded again. Same ones, 4,300 puts. And this time I got them at 730. And then went from 730 to 870 right there. I stuck to the thing. My rules of engagement, if you want to say, were the 430 was the ceiling. But right here was what I was looking at. When it rejected this, I kept reloading, thinking that was going to keep rejecting. So that worked. I played it 3 times. Took it, reloaded, took it, reloaded, then took it again, and it ended up working out really well. So if you stuck to the dollar or so base hit, you would have done very well just in this little area right here. Then it just kept grinding up, and I didn't want nothing to do with it. It was chopping, and it was making small candles. Right here, it was making very, very, very tiny candles. I thought for sure we were going to dump, and nothing happened. So I ignored it. So that's all I did. Then on Friday, the short squeeze continues on SPY. So I thought, okay, SPY puts it at 430, which was right down here at this low. And popped up on news, chopped. So I was like, okay, this is it. We're gonna give it back today, and we didn't. I thought for sure we were going to. First 10-minute candle right there. I was not taking calls. RSI right here was at 87 plus or 85 plus at the time. I didn't take puts right here. I probably should have. I took puts at 11.18. Just right here. I took it up here. I took the 43.45 puts at 610. This is right before I took this play, is when I noticed I didn't have a loss this week. Sometimes I just need to stop looking at what I did for the week and just not do that, because I think that jinxed me. I think I just got overzealous, too confident, and I got burned. So for this though, I was not taking calls. I was thinking that we were not going to get any higher than this. Let me look at the daily. Is the daily? We got 435 right here. It's a lot. 436 right here. We got a lot of resistance right in here. Support. Support. Then you got tons of resistance right here, right in here. So I thought we were going to reject it right here. We didn't. It kept grinding up. In fact, I ended up averaging down at 1144, which was right here, which was at high day, and it just kept grinding up. So yeah, I added more at 3, maybe a new average 455. Then I ended up stopping. I didn't stop out. I just held it, thinking that I thought I stopped out, but no, I didn't stop out. I held it, thinking that we were going to eventually have a huge drop, because you get a lot of things going on in the world. This is a short squeeze. This is not normal. That's not normal whatsoever. We get some big gaps to fill, but this is not normal. This is a short squeeze. This is a short squeeze right here. You see multi-day green candles after a big drop or a extreme RSI move. That is usually a short squeeze. That was a short squeeze. This is a massive short squeeze. So I just was hanging on to the puts thinking that we're going to eventually dump. You got a lot of things going on in the world. You got the stuff going on in the Middle East and Ukraine and Russia and the FOMC and debt crisis. We got all kinds of bad things happening in the world, and not one thing matters right now. And I thought for sure people were going to take profits. I mean, if you bought at 410 and you're up here at 435 going into this weekend and you're not taking profits, to me, I thought that was stupid. Because what if something happens over the weekend, like a massive strike, or other people get into the war? I mean, there's other things happen in the war. The war escalates or something. Who knows? Anything can happen. And we could gap down $10 on something crazy. If you're not taking profits after a move like this, I thought that was stupid. So I was like, okay, I'm banking on we're going to have a massive end of the day dump. I'm not talking massive. I'm talking, maybe down to 432, maybe even 430. Bring it down to maybe possibly go red on the day. Nothing substantial, but just enough to drop it a few dollars. But no, it didn't. It just, it just stayed. To me, people that didn't take profit on Friday are stupid. Yeah, maybe it gaps up and goes higher, but that's just dumb hope right there. But anyways, my dumb hope was we were going to get an end of the day dump. And to me, logically, that made sense. And my theory, it made perfectly sense. So I held on to it thinking that, okay, maybe it will go green. So I didn't want to add any more to it. And I did take puts eventually, but I got closer to at the money. I took the 43.75 puts at 310, which is right here. Right when it rejected the 436 area, once it got below 436, below 435.80 is where I took the 43.75 puts at $6, and they went from $6 to $8.80. So pleased about that. Then I took puts again at 347, which is right here. I think I grabbed it. Yeah, okay. I sold it here, popped up a little bit. Once it got below, let's see, I went off the body of these candles right here. The body, and the wick. So it was right around 435. So once I got below 435, I grabbed the 43.70 puts at 750. And they went from 750 to 1220 right there. So they were in the money when I bought the put. So they ended up going pretty good. So yeah, one loss for the week. I'm not going to complain about that whatsoever. I was hoping for a flawless week, but I haven't had too many of those. I've only had like maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 tops. I don't remember over the years. It's just too much to remember. But anyways, solid week. And next week's going to be interesting, I should say, this week coming up. So, yeah, that's going to do it for the recap. And so thanks for watching.